Hello and welcome. You're watching a special broadcast here on News 9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar. We are on the threshold of a brand new year 2025. And as we look back at the year 2024, one factor that stands out that matters to you and me and all those watching this broadcast is the rise and the evolution of cyber crimes. 2024 was the year in which the term digital arrest became rampantly used. So many people getting affected because of digital arrests. This apart from using everything from artificial intelligence to other methods to clamp down on spam calls. From spam to scam, the year 2024 saw the new wave of cyber crimes. The question is, how can you and I stay safe? What kind of legal protection do we have to protect ourselves against cyber fraudsters? And what can we do to stay alert and stay safe in the brand new year 2025. To help us understand that, we have some very special guests joining us. We have Mr. Kanish Gaur, CEO, India Future Foundation, former MD Protivity. We have Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, Cyber Media Group. We also have Shashank Shekhar, co-founder, Future Crime Research Foundation. Thank you all of you for taking time out to be with us. Kanish, I'm going to begin with you. 2024 can be called as the year of digital arrests. People who have never heard the term before, definitely now everybody knows digital arrests. It's been terrorizing ordinary citizens, especially senior citizens across India. But then, fact of the matter is that 2024 also exposed how all kinds of cyber crimes and all kinds of cyber fraudsters that exist out there, and more importantly, how a step ahead of the system that they are and how they're able to target more and more innocent people without being held accountable, without being caught. But talk to us in terms of the evolution of cybercrime. What are some of the biggest threats in your mind?
See, cybercrime is not just a phenomenon today. It's become a pandemic. We would see transnational organized crime happening today, where people from India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal are going to countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and now becoming part of cyber criminal gangs which are targeting India. Last year, according to the report of Ministry of Home Affairs, more than 22,000 Indians went missing when they went to countries in Southeast Asia, which included Thailand, Vietnam, and these people, through the visa on arrival route, went to countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Myanmar, and became part of gangs which have duped India thousands of crore rupees. And so far, we have not been able to stop it. What we are seeing right now is use of emerging technology. We are seeing satellite telephony being used to call people in India and then being forced into transferring money through concepts like digital arrest. And we have seen Indians only involved in this, whereas the top bosses who are doing this are Cambodian national and even Chinese businessmen. So it is not just one country, it's multiple countries, and the size and the scale is massive. The amount of loss that has happened to the exchequer because of this has not been realized so far. So it is only going to grow further, and you would see methods like, your crypto scams, non-fungible token scams, digital arrest being used. You would also see OTP-based frauds. You would also see parcel-based frauds, narcotics, drug-based frauds. And these are the same people who are doing it. These gangs have set up bank accounts in India. So the money gets transferred to Indian bank accounts, and then through multiple bank accounts, this moves into cryptocurrencies, which moves globally. So we have to work with international governments, and we'll have to build up measures to stop this. Right now, to block calls from these satellite operators, from cyber teleflow platforms, which are now calling up people on WhatsApp. All of this, we need to do more, not just a company like Airtel or Vodafone, but at a regulatory level. So we need to have Telecom Regulatory Authority of India bring out more regulations, bring out more regulations so we can block some of these international calls from being landed in India.
Right, Pradeep, let me come to you now. Talk to us, from, sextortion and using images and videos of a person in a compromising position to extort money from them, using deep fakes, even deep fakes of the face or the voice. From that, we've now evolved. It's gone to another level of digital arrests. The cyber criminals seem to be always a step ahead of law enforcement.
Well, criminals will always stay one step ahead of enforcement, and will remain two steps ahead of the legal framework. So that has always been the chor sipahi ka game, which is always there. People are very innovative and will think of newer and newer ways of scamming people. It takes the police time to learn all these new technologies and then catch them. And it takes, as I said, two steps for the legal system to put together frameworks for catching them. So, this is something which is there. And of course, now, there is very targeted thing which is at financial scamming of people, which involves large money being siphoned off from people. And, there are organized gangs which are, and not just abroad, but I would say even in India, there are lots of pockets in which there are such like people who are operating. And, they use AI, they use different kind of technologies to mask themselves, so that the IPs are not detectable. They often will bounce the message off a foreign country. So all those kind of issues are there, and this is something where I think we as individuals need to protect ourselves.
Right. We as individuals need to protect ourselves. Shashank, Shekhar, the question is, how do we do that when there are so many different scams that the common man, the common citizen can be susceptible to, just because they make payments online? That's because they use digital payments. The NPCI, the National Payment Corporation of India, has flagged digital arrests officially, saying that those who make a lot of digital payments are more prone to being attacked by these scamsters for digital arrests. Even as we go towards a completely digital future, the danger is staring at our face.
Absolutely right. And I think there are two things to it. First is, for public, it is just awareness, awareness, and awareness. We have to tell them that how technology works, what is the right way, what is the wrong way, why nobody will threaten you, why nobody will give you exciting offer, and why you don't have to give your banking details to anybody on call or on WhatsApp. So awareness is the first thing. And also, these, as Pradeep sir said, that criminals are always ahead because they use technology before masses start using it. Just look at how they're using AI. They are creating clone voices, they are creating deep fake videos, and they are the first movers, and they are the people who are using AI first. And that's the benefit they get. Until the time we communicate this or teach or make people aware in masses, till the time losses are done. As in the case of digital arrest, these criminals created entire offices which looked like government office. The calls which were made, it appeared that a law enforcement officer is making that call. So they made it look real. And also, they exactly knew the loophole, that how people are scared of getting a call from cops, and people are ready to pay any money to get rid of any legal hassle. So they used this against us, and they created an environment, and they looted the entire money, and a lot of money, as Kanish said, lot of money is being siphoned from India and being taken abroad, which is a bigger worry for us, because every day we are losing millions and this money is going outside India. So we have to use technology, we have to use AI enabled systems so that we can detect it. As regulator, as somebody at the top of the system needs to have a proactive AI system wherein we can detect these calls beforehand. There should be a mechanism that can flag such spam or fake calls, and so that people, and with people we need awareness.
As people, we need awareness. Kanishk, it is all now being thrown back at us, the people. to ensure that we don't get scammed. But digital arrests has been a phenomenon that has actually spooked everybody across the board, simply because the call you're getting seems to be someone from law enforcement, somebody from a government agency, somebody who's who seems to know so much about you and your family members. In fact, they can threaten actions against your family members. It is very difficult for somebody getting that phone call to not take it seriously. The question here is that what can you do when you get that call from the unknown number demanding that you make a hefty payment if you need to be let go? Because these calls, bear in mind, the digital arrest calls can last for from a few hours to a few days even. And you've seen people getting locked into it, and after they lose their money, it is virtually impossible to go back and find that money.
See, that's one of the key issues. See, laws in India have changed. What is required is more awareness about the new Achar Sanhita which has come in, the changes which have been made to the cyber law, the Indian IT Act. So people understand that they can't be digitally arrested. They will never get an arrest warrant to come online on Skype and then give their statement, one-sided statements. The second is they need to go to the local police station. Third is the help mechanism which is there from Ministry of Home Affairs, like the helpline 1930, the cybercrime.gov helpline. We also need more cyber police stations. One of the biggest issues is that there is a lack of cyber police stations where people can report crime. And each of the police stations today in major tier 1 and tier 2 cities, per month we are seeing cybercrime complaints up to 50,000 to 70,000 to 80,000. In a city like Pune, we have seen cybercrime complaints reaching up to 40,000. So that's one of the big issues. So the police, the cop who are solving these cybercrime complaints also need to change their method in terms of how they are dealing with people. The first thing when you go and register a complaint is you make you feel like a fool, saying that, okay, you are foolish. They lack the empathy. They lack the basic preparedness to handle a cybercrime case when somebody is being duped of crores or lakhs of rupees. That's why a lot of people, when they are victims of cyber fraud or they have lost money, they don't want to go and report to the police because they know that police will make them feel helpless and they will make them feel stupid. I'm sorry to say, but that's the situation on ground. So that needs to change drastically. The police also needs to play a vital role in ensuring that people are willing to come forward and the police is showing the empathy and is willing to investigate these cases. Just because there are too many cases doesn't mean that he will stop solving for the problem. That's another issue. We also need to make more cops trained on technology, on digital forensics, doing investigations, because the new generation fraud. If you look at the world in the developed countries, their top priority is cybercrime cases. I was recently with the commander of the City Police of London. He said his number one priority is solving cybercrime cases. But if I talk to the cybercrime cops in India, they feel helpless. They say that they don't have that kind of support system, the tools, techniques, which is required, the training which is required to detect these frauds. Also, there is a lack of a central nodal agency or law enforcement agencies in India, which could go out and nab the fraudster. So every time there's a crime which is happening from one state, the state from where the perpetrator is sitting is different. So the police from one state has to go to another state, and it takes a lot of time. By the time cyber criminals already know that there is a police coming to nab them and they, evade it. They have local sources which will tell them. So it becomes really difficult. And a lot of time cops are even scared because these people are sitting ready with guns. They're ready to fire on cops. So it's not that simple to solve. And a lot of times the perpetrators are sitting outside the country, Cambodia, Laos, or Myanmar. So we don't have treaties with those countries. So that's another big issue.
Right. There is clearly a lacuna in the system, Pradeep, when it comes to dealing with cybercrime, starting at the police station level, and then from there on in terms of the laws available to protect the common citizen. So talk to us in terms of what can the government do, what can the authorities do, to ensure that the 2025, the brand new year, more and more citizens can be protected from cybercrimes.
Okay, so let me first start with what all we can do,
Okay.
Because I think the first thing has to be from the individual level, right? And so there are simple things like that, you must have proper passwords, you must have proper and updated antivirus solutions. You must have, not very simple to guess PIN numbers and so on. Okay. I mean, having a PIN number, which is your date of birth, is the easiest thing for somebody to crack. So try and make things as secure as possible first at your own level. Then, what I would also say is that when it comes to any call coming from an unknown number, don't take it. Don't click on links which are not known, and OTPs for inward payment. All of those things are behavior patterns that we should definitely avoid. Then, when you have all these windfalls or you have these threats kind of situations, then always do a two-factor authentication, call back, try and ensure that the person who is calling is genuine and not a AI fraud. There are so many personal things that you share with the person on the other side, because of which you can actually know whether the person is a fraud or not. So these are all protections that we all need to take. Then comes the role of the police. Okay, you need to have a cyber cell. You need to have very, very well-trained people, and of course now the government has been working on training more and more people in that area. Uh, but we need to have specific numbers. Now of course there are numbers like 1931 and so on that have come up, but there has to be more awareness that needs to be created. So yes, some steps are being taken by RBI and so on in creating this awareness, but much more and more of those things need to be done. And then there has to be a legal framework, right? Currently, the legal framework is very, very weak, and that is the reason why people just get away with all varieties of crimes. So I think that also needs to be strengthened.
Pradeep Gupta, it is always very important, whatever be the system, whatever be the laws there available or not, for the individuals to stay safe. Because if we want the ease and convenience of operating in the online world, in the world of digital payments, then you need to ensure that you stay safe first before you go put the blame on somebody else. But the fact of the matter is that despite all and our best efforts, some of us do tend to get scammed. Some of us tend to be, scammed at a time when we are vulnerable. And then it is upon the system to ensure that the people are protected. From the system's perspective, Pradeep, what do you think is lacking? Shashank, what do you think is lacking? And more importantly, what do you think can be done in 2025 to start with? Because, we've gone from the cyber crimes at being at one level to a whole new level where it's all encompassing and it's scaring one and all. What can you do from the system's perspective in the brand new year?
So before I talk about authority or system, what they need to do, I'll just quickly tell you that what individual or society needs to do. We need to understand that there has to be zero trust when we are dealing with anything online. When I say zero trust, that means that you cannot share, if you're sharing even a post on Twitter or Facebook or putting out picture, be very conscious if you are, in a way leaking out some important information through which you can be harmed. A lot of people do ask us, what is the problem if my personal detail gets leaked? They don't understand that these detail will be used against you. If my medical data is leaked, somebody will call up and say, "Hi, Shashank, that you visited a doctor and this is your blood group and this is what it is," and they will win the confidence and siphon off money or use it in negatively. So digital literacy is very important these days. Like organizations have induction and they talk about IT policy. Similarly, there should be a cyber policy where every student, every employee, every individual should be taught about having zero trust online and double checking everything, verifying everything. This is for public. And as you ask for system or authority, what should they do in 2025? I think, as Kanish mentioned, we require a lot of cyber soldiers, cyber warriors who can work on such technical cases because I will give you example of Uttar Pradesh to deal with high, deal with cybercrime cases, inspector level officers is required. In state of UP, only 5,000 inspectors are there, and these inspectors are also busy with cases of murder, robbery, in fact traffic. So how will they deal with cases of cybercrime? And as he mentioned that there are crimes happening in rural areas, so absolutely there's nobody to address this issue. So at large scale we need these soldiers, these investigators, plus technology. In fact, as he mentioned, we need forensics officers, we need people who can do evidence gathering properly, investigate these cases. A lot of police during training we see they do not know that how to get information from ISPs, from service provider, from social media. So
Right.
I think a large scale campaign which Home Ministry is already doing. Home Minister Amit Shah has already announced this, but this has to come down to each and every state, and plus having a nodal agency which can take this beyond state issue or geographical boundaries, and all the countries together. If you see Europol or Interpol or FBI, they are working together in dismantling these international cybercrime groups. So similarly, India needs to take lead in this and become a leader because we do have capacity. There are a lot of private players who have capacity. So we need to bring all the stakeholders together, and India should lead when it comes to international cooperation or cyber crackdown.
Kanishk, apart from digital arrests, the other big scam that emerged, or the instances that emerged rampantly, was of the parcel delivery scam, or the DTDC delivery scam as they're called. You suddenly get a call saying that you're supposed to get a parcel, you're supposed to pay money from it. People pose as members, courier persons from the delivery company and scam you. And then they lure people into thinking that they are supposed to be getting a delivery, and then eventually they get trapped. So that's another new wave of cyber crimes that emerged in 2024. Kanishk, please unmute yourself.
That's another issue. A lot of times people, when they're expecting their parcel, post, or are expecting, any kind of delivery from e-commerce platforms or India Post, that information leaks, and they are being lured into believing that that parcel or post got misplaced or got replaced with a substance which had narcotics in it. That's one issue which we are seeing. And then they are being forced to record statements and make acceptance, and then being forced to pay money to get out of it. That's one method that I'm seeing big time, and it's again the Cambodian gang which I'm seeing is active doing this kind of work. The second method is that people end up sharing OTP and a PIN through which they lose control of their device. So a lot of times when people are expecting a parcel or a post, you are required to share a OTP or a PIN to verify, to collect that parcel. Now what happens today is that you get a call from these people and they ask you to share a PIN which actually takes away your control from your device. So you allow call forwarding and message forwarding to be applied on another number, and you lose full control of your device. So your WhatsApp, your bank accounts, everything gets changed, and you end up losing money, your controls, your contacts. And this has happened rapidly today. So what we need to do is we need to create a standardized mechanism. If you're sharing OTP PIN, then it has to be of minimal 4 or 6 digit. It can't be a 9-digit or a 10-digit number, which is also used for call forwarding. So people don't realize some of these minor details. So we'll have to standardize it and make people more aware that how you apply call forwarding or message forwarding on your telecom device. So if you're using Airtel number, how call forwarding or message forwarding is applied on your number, or if you're using a Jio or a BSNL or a Vodafone, SIM, then how it gets applied. People don't know these basics. So awareness is also something which we need to teach people about this, so they don't end up giving all of this information just like that.
Awareness. That's the word that keeps coming up, isn't it, Pradeep? One is to be aware of all the different type of scams that you can possibly be prone to. If digital arrest is one thing, then to my mind, the other big scam that is easily, that you can be prone to, all those watching this broadcast, is the fact that, hey, you have a delivery that you didn't know that you're supposed to be getting, and then you start to want to understand as to what this delivery is all about, and before you know it, you are in the grip of scamsters.
Yeah, and in fact, the delivery very often is linked with the digital arrest thing, which says that it was actually carrying drugs, right? And therefore you are supposed to pay money. And a cop comes, and then after that, a senior cop comes, and so on. But my point basically is that the criminals, once again, will stay a step ahead. So, in the past, there used to be that Nigerian scam, there was that dope scam, there were the DDoS attacks, there were the ransomware attacks. There have been continuously newer and newer scams that will be there. So you will address the parcel delivery issue, but then something else will come up. Some gold brick will come, something else will happen, right? So this is something which is continuously going to evolve, and therefore you have to address it at the behavior level, right? And at the behavior level, I would also say that the tech companies have a very important role to play. Because they can detect a whole lot of things, and especially using AIs. For instance, they could use AI on social media platforms to detect, let's say, cyberbullying, right? They could use it to detect the scams that may be going on. They can actually, using AI engines, understand conversations and understand that today there is this parcel issue which is going on, and tomorrow there will be newer and newer and newer things which will come. So I think for the tech companies also, it is a very, very important task for them to continuously work on ensuring the cyber security robustness.
Right, Shashank, the parcel delivery scams again is something that it's both rural and urban. It doesn't know, it is very agnostic in that sense in its possible victims. Talk to us in terms of that. What can people do? Step number 1, 2, 3 to ensure that they are not victims of this parcel delivery scam.
First of all, we have seen these scams change a bit. As sir mentioned earlier, there was Nigerian scam when they used to send a message on Facebook, be friends on Facebook, and then tell you that I have sent you a courier. Now, these scammers have some details which might have leaked on dark web, because when they call, they have your name and your Aadhaar card with them, and they say that you were sending this parcel, and which is now stuck. And interestingly, they will also morph a government document which will look like it has come from CBI, Custom, or ED, and they'll share it with you. Obviously, it's a fake document. You can spot it, but you need a very sharp eyes to also track it. So that's there. And also, what is more worrying here is how they're using technology. Now they will also do a call forward. Now they will also have an automated voice. So you will feel that it is coming from an authority or a professional. A professional person is handling this. So it's really difficult to detect if it's a scam or if it's actually authority. But here, what's interesting is if it is a scam call or a fake call, obviously there will be some sense of urgency. Either he will threaten you, either he will scare you, or he will give you very exciting offer. So these are the red flags. One has to be very sure that if somebody is threatening me or somebody is saying that you have to do this in 1 hour, this is the first red flag. You have to disconnect the call and go and double check it. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, if you think, you should always have something like Truecaller or Sanchar Sathi app with you. The moment you feel that it is coming from a wrong place, just flag it so that, others are not getting cheated. And I think, again, as I said, zero trust. Anybody, even if you're getting a call from your appearing to be your son calling or your boss calling or sending a mail and asking for money and showing some kind of urgency, do not believe it. Disconnect the call, reach out to them directly, check it double check it, so that, that's the only way to ensure that you are safe.
Check, double check, recheck. That's the only way to stay safe is the larger message. Kanishk, I have to ask this question. We are in the age of QR codes. India's UPI has been, is a model that many other countries want to adopt. India has been extremely successful with UPI, and along with it came the rise of QR code scams as well. I mean, if Indians are to continue using UPI and digital payments with full trust, which they say, most of the people in the Western markets find it difficult. The fact that we have this faith, that faith needs to be protected and safeguarded.
Absolutely, it needs to be safeguarded, but we also need to understand how QR code-based payments work. You don't need to scan every QR code. You need to validate. If you are scanning a QR code, you don't need to download an APK or an app. A lot of times what is happening today is when we are scanning QR codes, it forces us to download an APK or an app, which takes remote control of our devices, and we lose control of our devices and data. So that's something which need to validate. Second, when we are using UPI through our bank accounts, so we need to ensure that we have multi-factor authentication enabled on it. So even if you lose control of your device, people just can't randomly take out money from your UPI. That's second. Third, we need to limit the payments that we can make through UPI, through QR code. So you can set up a minimum limit. Say, if I'm scanning a QR code, it could be 2,000, 3,000 payments. So people, if are losing money, they have to lose money in short value. And you can, as soon as you find out you have lost money, you can block it. People don't enable some of these best practices. So what has happened is we have become a digitally savvy population, but we don't know the controls on how we need to deploy some of these best practices to keep ourselves safe. Third, which is most important, is a lot of these credit card companies today engage third-party contractors, which do your KYC. These third-party providers a lot of times leak this data to the hacktivist groups which are operating, and all of this data is then available to them to make calls to you, say that you are gonna miss on a credit card payment, or your credit card is about to expire, so I'm sending you a QR code to make payments. So verification of people who are coming to do your KYC checks, or even calling you from banks. There is no way to validate if a credit card company is calling you apart from American Express, which helps you verify and ask you certain key things to ensure that they are the people. The other credit card companies have all third-party contractors, and they a lot of times are involved in these frauds. So we need to have better controls to manage those, even stringent norms, and ensure that the credit card companies are liable and accountable if a fraud happens.
Right, Pradeep, holding companies accountable, clamping down on scamsters. But the fact of the matter is that imagine the number of QR code payments that people do on a daily basis, online digital payments that people are doing on a daily basis these days. How can people stay aware and stay alert when it comes to making digital payments?
Yeah, so you can today set your limits, right? For tap, you can set a limit. For international transactions, you can set a limit. For online transactions, you can set a limit. So you need to do that. And again, for the credit card companies also, or the banks, they can also check certain things themselves, which they often do. For example, my bank app does not permit me to scan a QR code and make a payment of more than 2,000 rupees until there is a second level authentication that happens and I certify that yes, please go ahead and make this payment. Okay, so those are the kind of things which we have to do as individual, and has to be done at the systemic level as well. I mean, in the past, we used to say block a site and so on, right? And very often, telcos these days point out that you may be getting a fraud call and so on. So therefore, it is a joint responsibility of the individuals and the companies to prevent it at the first level. That I think is the most important thing, because newer and newer methodologies will keep on emerging, and scamsters will keep on finding newer and newer ways
Right.
to attack the entire system. So Krishna, it all has to start with us,
It has to
right?
start with us. I totally hear you on that, Shashank. There is no doubt about it. It has to start with us. We have to be alert and we have to be careful. But imagine the whole idea of using QR codes was the matter of convenience. Again, I bring this back. You go out there, you want to buy, anything from, mungfali, like peanuts, to, you want to buy, fashion clothing. You can just use a QR code. But, does this, the way the environment is right now, should people stay away from using QR code payments in certain scenarios, say, be it out in the street, or maybe your cab driver, or, and then, restrict your QR code payments only to more secure sources?
Absolutely. I think, the technology has made it very easy for us. And it has, if you see largely, it has helped us a lot. But obviously, the rise of QR code or the QR based payment started after COVID. So the way exponentially it rose, the entire usage grew. But unfortunately, the awareness didn't grow at that level. People started, first of all, how QR code work. You have to scan it, and only you can make the payment. But scammers started using, showing that if I am sending you a QR code, and if you scan it, you get money. So obviously, this is a wrong conception. You can only scan a QR code to send money first of all. B, QR code are used for a lot of malicious purpose as well. For data harvesting, you just scan a QR code, you get a link, you put your detail. It also do a lot of data harvesting. As Kanesh mentioned, lot of malicious app, lot of illegal app which should not be there on your phone gets downloaded if you scan a random QR code. So if you're going and making payment, make sure that you're going to an authorized merchant. You're going to a showroom and making a payment. Even if you're going to a vegetable vendor, make sure and always double check his name. If I'm making the payment to the right person, if suppose you're going and buying a vegetable for 50 rupees, we loosely make payment, but go and verify, sir, this is your name, because chances are high that even his QR code is being misused or some backdoor is entering. Make sure that it is taking you to a GPay or a authentic payment gateway. So that's very important to check where that QR code is taking you. That is first. And also I think these QR code have made our life easy. So we should adapt technology, but obviously, as sir mentioned, that we should keep a check on how much money, as in we can keep a tap on only 2,000 rupees I can transact at a time, or that facilities are there. And also always verify that who the payment is going to, where this payment, this QR code is leading to. That's how you can stay safe.
Digital arrests being the next level. A special report on digital arrests, a new cybercrime wave. Are You Next, where we tell you all about the rise of digital arrests and what you can do to ensure that you are not the next victim. Take a look at this special report.
Please hold on the line. Customer service will be on the line soon.
हेलो गुड मॉर्निंग
बोलो भाभी बोलो गुड मॉर्निंग।
सर, आपका करंटली मोबाइल नंबर 995888 आप इस नंबर के बोलो।
बोलो आगे बोलो।
जी मेरी बात मिस्टर नीलम सिंह से हो रही है।
आगे बोलो आगे।
मिस्टर नीलम सिंह, आपके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट नोटिस आया है मुंबई कंजूर पुलिस स्टेशन से। हेलो, आप तुरंत मुंबई पुलिस स्टेशन आ जाइए।
हाँ बता तो बेटा कौन से पुलिस स्टेशन, हवा में बात मत कर, जो है लोकेशन बता कौन से वाले में।
मुंबई कंजूर पुलिस स्टेशन, मुंबई कंजूर पुलिस स्टेशन।
नाम तेरा बेटा अपना?
मुंबई महाराष्ट्र 40042।
हाँ तेरा नाम क्या बेटा?
नाम प्रदीप है। प्रदीप सावंत है मेरा नाम।
हेलो मैम, मैं डिपार्टमेंट से बात कर रहा हूँ। आपका सिम यूज़ हुआ है, इलीगल एक्टिविटीज़ हुई हैं उस सिम से। ओह माय गॉड, Madam, you are also involved in the Naresh Goyal money laundering case.
It was a very casual and regular, like a regular day only. It was 24th of May. In the morning, I finished my puja and all, and I was sitting in the drawing room. So phone rang. I went there, picked up the phone. There was a recorded message coming from MTNL company that your phone is going to be, all your numbers going to be blocked. But the message was not very clearly heard by me. So there is the mistake I have done. I rang that number again. And that time it was not a recorded message. That time somebody was talking.
Hello. क्या हम कृष्णा दास गुप्ता जी से बात कर रहे हैं?
Yes.
मैम, मैं डिपार्टमेंट से बात कर रहा हूँ।
Okay.
और हमने ये देखा है कि आपके आधार कार्ड से एक सिम रजिस्टर्ड हुआ है यहाँ। वो शॉप नंबर 1 बी ब्लॉक मार्केट नवी मुंबई से लिया गया था 24 दिसंबर को।
On 24th of December, all detail, and I happened to be there in Mumbai at that time. So I have no option for me left to think that it is a fraud call or something.
This has already been exponentially growing. The only thing which we realize that change of modus operandi. Earlier there were different modus operandis, now there are different, but cybercrime has already been exponentially increasing since COVID. Because of our too much online activities, too many, I think do almost 60 to 70% of our real life activities on online.
Then told ki ma'am, there are 20 complaints against this mobile number in Mumbai police station regarding abusive language messages and porno photographs sent. So you have to report to Mumbai police station within 2 hours. So I just smiled and said, how can I reach? I stay in Delhi. Then the gentleman said, okay ma'am, then in that case we will connect you to Mumbai police station. It was a video call, but I cannot see any person on that call. I can see only the Mumbai police station logo, all these things. In my mind that I am talking to Mumbai police.
They tell the person that now you are under arrest, but this arrest, you have to be in this arrest in your home itself. And they design a fake police station. They wear a fake uniform which resembles very similar to the original one. They create fake warrants, fake summons, fake FIR copies and similar other documents which are used by the police.
And the camera is on. They are warned that you cannot switch off your camera. You have to keep it on, otherwise we'll take it as an offense against the court and you will be penalized for that or probably will arrest you. You are anyway digitally arrested. So whenever you have to go to the washroom or do something, you have to take a request.
Then bola ki ma'am, do one thing, give us your Aadhaar card number. Let us check whether there is any other cases में आपको they have entangled you or not.
आप प्लीज़ अपना आधार कार्ड नंबर शेयर कीजिए। मैं देखकर बताता हूँ कहीं आपके आधार कार्ड नंबर पर और केस रजिस्टर्ड तो नहीं है।
Then I gave them our Aadhaar card number. Then they said, oh my God, you are also engaged. They have also involved you in the Naresh Goyal that money laundering case. In Mumbai, in the Canada Bank, there is an account open in your name. Maybe open with the help of your Aadhaar card, if yes so, and there is huge amount of money is in this bank. Then madam, do one thing, you see the WhatsApp, please look back in the WhatsApp. तो WhatsApp मैंने खोला तो देखा कि there are Supreme Court's arrest warrant okay, arrest warrant of Supreme Court, and with the proper logo paper, with logo, with 3-4 stamp and signature, and seal at the bottom, and my name is written there, my Aadhaar card number is written there. So I was, I never thought it's fraud or something, I thought it's true. And because police department is telling, ma'am, do you know that there are 100 people are in the jail and there are 150 people are in queue, they are going to be arrested. So आपके भी नाम उसमें आ गए list पे. You are also going to be arrested.
Definitely she was convinced, then only she did that. But I am just trying to understand the way they are communicating or they are calling these people. They are so confident that neither lawyers, businessmen, bureaucrats, MNCs, senior executives, none of them could even doubt for a second that this could be a fraudster's call. This is something which cannot happen without proper training. I think they are very well trained. They know the legal processes, the sections, those are applied in these situations.
Generally, the scams were limited to OTPs or screen sharing or similar kind of frauds were happening. This is a very different, has a very different modus operandi of whose awareness has completely not reached the people. So for them it's a new thing. Secondly, there is fear psychosis, especially the kind of warrants they make, the kind of summons, the kind of documentation these scamsters are doing. So it creates a fear psychosis in the people, and that's why sometimes they get trapped into this entire thing called digital arrest.
When I was upset, then they said, okay, let us see, ma'am, are you sure that you are not involved? Then I said, no, I not at all I am involved. Ma'am, then let me try whether we can save you, whether we can prioritize your case. I'll go to my boss, I'll find out. He acts as if he is going to his boss. You see, I cannot see their face and all, no? So as soon as he enters somewhere, the boss says, I can hear that इनको arrest क्यों नहीं किया अभी तक? Then that gentleman in a very meek voice, sir, I think she's a senior citizen. I think she is not at fault. Iनको, if you can kindly talk to him. Then he said, acha, okay, I'll talk to him, I'll talk to her, okay. Then boss takes over, okay, and you are going to be arrested. So let us see how we can help you, ma'am. Then how much money you have got in the bank, ma'am? I said, I will not be able to tell you exactly how much money and all. Okay, then आप एक काम कीजिए, आप take out all the fixed deposit papers you take out.
It's easy to trap a person who is non-tech or who is a senior citizen, and probably they'll not target a bigger amount from them because they may not have it. But it is easy. But then they realize, like with a similar kind of effort, there is a bigger ROI if they target a person who is CEO, CXOs, higher income group, celebrity even, and they don't complain because of their reputation.
Then बोला आप एक काम करिए, पहले एक बैंक जाइए, take over. How far is the bank? I told this bank is hardly 2 minutes. बोले आप जाइए, take all the papers, documents, passbook, checkbook, and as you enter the bank, we will not talk over the phone. We will be only doing in the WhatsApp message. Okay, I will send you an address. वहाँ पे आप just send the money by RTGS. So I asked him, if you have any problem with my account, then don't you think you should freeze it and you should check it in my account only? Why you ask me to withdraw the money? Then, but I was, saying this with lot of fear in my mind that they are helping me and I am showing my doubt on them. So all the money that bank had 58 lakh. Okay, so 58 lakh. I told write the amount in the message. I wrote, okay, this is the RTGS address. RTGS in this particular address. So RTGS, I did it, okay. So nicely done, quickly done. I didn't know that it has to continue till night. Then after coming back home, I said, this is my lunch time, I have to have my lunch. Well, okay, you have your lunch, no problem. You keep the camera in front and have lunch. Okay, I did it. And in between my 2 friends' call came, in between my daughter's call came, but I was telling them, don't call me now, don't disturb me now, I am busy, I am doing an important job. Okay, I did not entertain anybody because, to be very frank, in my mind there was no doubt of that I am in a problem. I was thinking these people are very nice and they are saving me.
So because of the availability of dark web and a lot of data there, we see scamsters doing selective targeting, and because of this it is happening. However, I don't see that it's only the rich or the poor which are being targeted. I think these scamsters are doing the profiling and subsequently targeting the people who they think that might be vulnerable in any manner.
Then I went to the other bank. There were 25 lakh. In that bank, one gentleman told me, the personal manager who used to look after my all document, this thing, account and all, he was telling me, ma'am, these days lot of frauds are taking place. तो आप कोई चक्कर में तो नहीं है कोई? Are you safe? I said, हाँ, बिल्कुल. My children did it. Okay. So because I am thinking I am in a very big soup and they are helping me, so I transacted 25 lakh from the other bank. That time also I repeated, sir, I really don't understand, आप लोग मुझे पैसा निकालने को क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Why are you asking me to withdraw my amount? Why can't you check the amount? जो भी आपको scrutinize करना है, why can't you do it in my account itself after freezing it? No, ये privatized cases में यही formula है. This is the way we do it. Okay, after that I come back home, then I am sitting in front of camera, dinner time comes, I say I take early dinner, I said I will have to have dinner, हाँ madam dinner कर लीजिए. I had dinner, then I was doing my chanting, sitting there, okay. Then 9 o'clock, 9:30 I said I sleep early, I have to go to bed. तब बोल रहे हाँ ठीक है अभी बंद कर दीजिए. I said what about you? We are also closing.
They are using all legal languages, they are using all legal terms, and then these clauses, those are applicable in those situations. So even if you are discussing with them or reciprocating, they'll engage you in that discussion and eventually convince you.
The police are fighting the spurt in online fake arrests, but the people are frustrated as the police seem to be slow and ineffective. Victims feel the police lack the resources or expertise to investigate these incidents. This has intensified calls for reform as citizens demand a crackdown on cybercrime.
You see, cybercrime department when you went, somehow they were delaying a lot for doing the FIR. The assistant DCP, whoever is the person, till him we met and he was going on telling us, ma'am 15-20 दिन तो लग ही जाएगा, 15-20 days तो लग ही जाता है, even 1 month भी लग जाता है FIR में, okay?
To some extent it's true. They are, because of the overwhelming cyber crimes. Every day we are receiving 15 to 17,000 complaints on I4C cybercrime portal, which itself is a huge number to solve. Second, it's growing exponentially. The modus operandis are changing. When we investigate, we find these SIM cards are taken on anonymous names.
It's a very variable thing. If the person gives information within the span of 3 to 4 hours, 100% recovery can be done. I personally have seen a lot of cases where 100% recovery has been done. This is because when the information is received by the police, the scamsters have already withdrawn the money through ATMs. Once the money is withdrawn through cash, it becomes a little difficult to get that money back.
It's a delay. It's a matter of all the game is how fast you can do. We are seeing now I didn't get one penny even back yet. Maybe that 25 lakh, if I would have been the first one to reach, maybe it could have been faster. There was a chance. But my money goes to somebody else. That protocol also of the government I don't understand. It's very painful.
If you've lost your money online, you can still get it back. Victims must promptly report the incident to the police, banks and insurance firms. Evidence like transaction records is certainly crucial. But so is awareness in tackling digital asset theft and fraud. Educating people about scams, safe online practices and personal data protection can protect your money. By understanding how cyber criminals work, users can stop suspicious transactions. Awareness programs can help people protect their money.
So RBI has a clear-cut guidelines that if your money is fraudulently taken by somebody or if cybercrime takes place with you and you report it to the bank within 3 days of the crime, the bank is liable to pay you 100% money. This is clear-cut guidelines. If you report it within 7 days, the bank is liable to pay you 50%, and if you report it 21 days, I think 25% or something. But the liability is there, clear-cut liability is there for the bank to pay that money to you. And without password and OTP both, nobody can take my money. So when I didn't give my password, how could they know my password? Because it was transferred through my bank.
That is why awareness is important. If awareness is there, they'll come to the police quickly, and as soon as they dial on 1930, which is the all India number for cyber frauds, as soon as the person dials on 1930 and gives the detail, 1930 representatives, they freeze all the accounts and all the subsequent accounts where the money has been siphoned off. So this happens within a span of a few seconds.
That is a 24 hours call center by Government of India and managed by Griha Mantralaya. You call them and they have power to block any bank account for 48 hours. You just need to tell them transaction ID and the account details where the money has been transferred, whatever information you have shared with them, and request them that please block that money. They can block it for 48 hours anyways.
So if something of this sort is happening, one needs to be extra vigilant, extra careful, and always remember that if they have not done something wrong, they don't need to be fear about anything.